the Makima flex finally happened. You know, there's one thing always when series come out, that there's, you know, the hyped character. I mean, I guess you could, you know, pull over probably the easiest comparison off the top of my head, Kakashi from Naruto. You know, you get introduced to him fairly early, but you don't find out how strong he really is until Zabuza's fight, and you get an understanding of just, you know, how powerful a character of his stature is. And we got Makima in chapter 1. We know that she was clearly very confident in her strength. Like, she just went up to Denji while he was in his Chainsaw Man form, and just, you know, went up and hugged him, embraced him, at zero fear in relations to to this little chainsaw monster standing in front of her. But as this, they're talking about how she is directly under the chief cabinet secretary of the Devil Hunters, and so she's a big deal. We knew that early on. We found that out. I think what chapter I can't remember, like what 5 or 6, might have been a little bit later. I don't remember if it was before or after the encounter with the Bat and Leech Devil, but for sure afterwards, because, you know, we saw them talking, and she comes off as a very intelligent character, very strategic, and from that, you know, we didn't. There wasn't a lot of belief that she was dead, because she seemed very important. It wasn't literally just that she was a very early on character, chapter 1, but she just seemed like, you know, the author has plans for her, and it would be too kind of weird to have her get killed off. And this kind of opens up some questions, because I have the theory that she is, you know, a hybrid, kind of like Denji and the Yakuza guy. Maybe she's also, you know, got devil powers merged within her. And it seems a little bit hard here. There's the question of if that's true, because, well, she doesn't go in this and talk to a devil or show any hints at him in this chapter. It's just her power. So, at least from what we've seen. So, it's still up there. But we know that if it is the case, at least that we know of, devils can't make contracts with fiends. I guess we haven't seen anything concrete for kind of like the hybrids like Denji and the Yakuza guy. Maybe they can, and that'll just, you know, hype up Makima even more. But once that the chapter kind of opens up, and Makima's talking to this dude Kurose and this chick Tendo, and she's like, go get me 30 criminals with at least life sentences from the Ministry of Justice, and reserve a shrine at the highest elevation possible. And you see that in a lot of series. You know, you have the shrine way up on the hill with the long, really cool staircase. You know, I don't know what the reason for that is, but I imagine that there's some, like, spiritual reason that they're always on top of hills, or it's cliche, I don't know. I imagine that there's some form of reason. You know, it just seems too coincidental that, you know, so many series. Explain in the comments if you know. I'm sure somebody knows. But after that point, you see, like, the guys like lugging away Denji's upper half, and he's still in the chainsaw form. He's still got a chainsaw on his head, which means he should still be alive, because we know that he has, you know, a level of healing and a level of, you know, regeneration and all around, just seemingly not like raw immortality, but to a degree with these hybrid people. And so as long as he doesn't come out of it, he should be able to heal afterwards. And it's looking pretty good for him from this chapter. So once they're just like getting ready to, like, yeah, we need to take him, you know, grab the other end. This guy's like, where am I supposed to grab? Like, the other side is literally just like bisected, like, torso area, just blood like trailing on him. Surprised his organs aren't like toppling all out. But once that happens, they're just kind of like arguing of what to do, and right then this dude who it's like it's literally the meme. What was it, the Infinity Gauntlet meme, that I don't feel so good, because this guy's just like, something's pretty weird, and the next second he's splattered. He's just a complete and total mess on the ground, an utter just paste. There's no bones, there's no facial pieces. He's literally just clothes flattened out with a splatter of blood. And just like, when you get like a flex on one of these characters, you always get that character, and you're like, sweet, I get to see how badass this character is. I feel like a lot of people aren't expecting them to just go full up, non-care murder every single opponent in front of them. It's not even in front of them. She's probably who knows how far away, like miles, because it's not just in that one spot. There's like, they're like talking to one of the people over the radio, and they're and Sawatari is just like, is there any proof that Makima's actually dead? What do we do? And they're freaking out, and then this dude from their E team, as they're like all scattered around, they're gonna have scouts and stuff, people looking out in different areas, keeping an eye out. And this dude, you just see his face start to cave in, and then bam, he's also a blood splatter. And what's interesting is the birds next to him don't seem harmed, which means that she can definitely target. It's not like, here's an area, gravity, crush it. It's more like, put on a person. That'd be pretty sick if her power, it's something to do with gravity or compression. I don't know. I'm very curious to what hers is, what exactly her power is. Then it shows her at the shrine, and she has, including Kurose and Tendo, just completely, banned. Like, they're all blindfolded, including the people that she had pulled in, the life sentence criminals. And you see her just kind of standing there with their hands kind of like folded over each other. And it talks about how, I guess, like, people high up, you are not allowed to know what their contract is without, a certain other level of trust and I'm guessing rank, which makes sense because that's definitely a thing within Chainsaw Man. We saw Kobeni, she also didn't want to share what hers was. I had the like slight hope that we were gonna see it was Kobeni just going crazy this. I'm glad that she wasn't shown dead, but I want to see her do something. I like her character. She's interesting so far. But then Makima is just like, she goes up to one of the guys, like one of the people, and she says say this dude's name. And then like after he says it, she like pushes her hands together, and you see like back where the guys that are holding Denji, just like their bodies start to twist and just crush again, and they're all just splattering. They're all just kind of like going. And then as that happens, each of the life sentence inmates just kind of fall over. They aren't getting the splattered treatment. They're just toppling over dead. That's it. And she just kind of repeats the process, and you just see all these guys keep popping. They're just literally popping like gushers, just splattering all over the place. Yeah, but their weapons aren't harmed. That's what I'm extremely like curious what her power is, because it's clearly selective. Because that's probably one of the reasons that she says say their name. She has their name. She probably finds that out with one of her part of her power. And then from that process, it's literally just like their entire being. That's also probably their clothes aren't destroyed. And even like someone like nearby, like one dude freaks out. He tries to take a hostage, and she's just like, nope, you too. And then you just see this old lady like blood splattered all over. And I really like that like line design. When you see that, it's like when a character blocks an attack, but it's only in front of them. And so you have this kind of like carved out area behind them of just like this zone that they protected. And you see that with the blood splatter, because, there's this kind of like cone behind this old lady that wasn't just dirtied up with this dude's like entrails. It's not even entrails. It's literally just like person soup. And from there, you just see like Sawatari and the Yakuza dude, and they're just like, what the actual fuck? Okay. And Makima's just like, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna go back to Tokyo now. Yeah, what? Someone gonna go save Denji? Like, they took out Sawatari. She is, she already used some of her power. We don't know the extent of her with the Snake Devil and the Yakuza dude. He, he's kind of like weakened. He said he can't, use his powers right now. But they just lost everyone else. It's literally just them. And so now, hopefully, Power is not hurt. Power should be fine, and she's going against just these two. Potentially, she should be able to, get over there and help Denji. But you got to keep in mind, there's blood everywhere now. There's blood splattered over that whole zone. So Denji should be able to intake some of it and heal himself and get back up, which should be cool, because then we could also see regeneration from him, because we've seen like normal healing and like stamina regen and just, but we haven't seen anything from like direct combat of him like literally just like bam sprouting legs back out, because it's probably gonna happen. I mean, that's like the thing with devils. As long as they can intake blood, they can keep going and fix their wounds and heal up and progress in the fight. And I think this was one of the most brutal, like, early showings of a character in Weekly Shonen Jump. Like, it's vicious. Like, I can think of some other, like, some of the other manga that just, like, aren't, like, they don't hold back. They go vicious, like I said. There's, like, Top of my head, Killua from Hunter x Hunter. Like you first see him, he like rips out that dude's heart. But this wasn't. This wasn't. Oh, I ripped some dude's heart out, and you see the heart beat a couple times, and the guy dies. This was literally pasting like probably like 10. Well, she said 30 of the people of her inmates, so probably around 30 people all around this city, all around. I think it's Kyoto. Just completely splattering them, like destroying the hell out of these guys from miles away. Like, Jesus. That was a crazy chapter. Again, Chainsaw Man does not. It surprises me every time. Like, legitimately, the only time I've ever been like, oh, I kind of called it is when I kind of predicted that Makima would get up and we'd see a display of her powers, just because I felt like that was what the author was doing. But, one thing out of 27 chapters is not much. Other than that, drop a comment below on what you thought about this. Again, I love this manga. It's so much fun. And it's really weird. Like, this author, he's both really interesting to see his story, but his art is very strange, because he's very rough with certain like things, like close-ups of like hands and people. But like look at the buildings and like the monsters. They're so nicely drawn, and I really like it. But other than that, give me a comment below on what you thought about this chapter. Again, I had a lot of fun reading it. It's sort of the series, if I wake up randomly during my time to sleep and I see it's out, I will read the chapter, and then I won't go back to sleep until after. It's just so much fun. But other than that, like I said, drop a comment below. I'd really appreciate if you thumbs up the video, but from the like button and the subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.